I'm really thrilled to be here. Miss Cita Hubbell was born in Algiers. She returned in 1970 when George retired from the Navy. Upon her return, she saw this space had become dilapidated, and they started working really hard trying to browbeat the mayor at the time into making sure that this place stayed open. His name was Mitch Landrieu, and in 1975 he succumbed
Smart man.
to the pressure and saw the vision that the Hubbell saw, and was so thankful for their involvement. They reopened this library and talked a lot about the importance of it. After Katrina, as many of you know, it found itself in the same current state of affairs, and the Hubballs, as always, being great community leaders, began to talk about this. I remember Mr. Hubbell speaking to me numerous times at public meetings about, listen, is it really going to happen? When's it going to happen? And we made a commitment that it would be so. We actually came here some months ago, right? We were here for the groundbreaking, and we were really waiting for this day with great anticipation. And so we're here to cut the ribbon today on this $1.3 million project in this historic neighborhood that's so important to the city of New Orleans. With Jackie's help and Kristen's help, and with Charles and the entire neighborhood, everybody stayed focused on the importance of this particular space for this particular neighborhood. And I don't need to reiterate all of the openings of all of the libraries that we've had and the importance of libraries to the city of New Orleans and all the reasons why they are so. But we have now completed in Algiers the $8.2 million renovation of the main library. Federal City, as you know, has a $750 million impact. Berman Park enhancements, Phase 1, $3.4 million. Brechtel Park Cutoff Center, Arthur Mundy Center, $2.6 billion investment. The New Orleans Fire Department Engine 40, and then, of course, over $20 million in street repairs, and also the major drainage work that's gone on at the Gall is another $20 million investment. And, of course, the new Algiers Plaza with retail development is on the way. We have ongoing projects right now with the Berman Park Gym, Pool and Soccer Complex Phase 2, the Norman Playground. We have roadways getting redone, Whitney, Patterson, Huntley, General Meyer Landscape, and Recovery Roads. And just to add an exclamation point, we opened up 5 libraries last year and are really thankful to be here at this particular point in time with this mainstay that's so important. So, Mr. Hubbell, I want to thank you and your family. I want to thank the council members. And I'm going to ask Charles Brown now, who is our city librarian, to come up and make some brief comments, followed by Jackie Clarkson, Kristen Palmer, Cedric Grant, Eddie Williams, Skip Stander, and Mr. Hubbell, if you would give us some comments when they're over, and then we'll cut the ribbon. Thank you all so very much. Charles Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The library system is so pleased and excited about the reopening of the Cita Dennis Hubbell Library. This is a real centerpiece for this community, and I would suspect in some ways the community's living room, and we really enjoy playing that role. As nice and up-to-date as the library is when you walk inside and see it, you're also walking to a piece of history. Andrew Carnegie, the patron saint of American libraries, gave funding to build over 2,500 libraries in the United States. 4 of those libraries were opened here in the city of New Orleans, but only 2 of them remain operational as libraries, and the Cita Dennis Hubbell Library is one of them. So when you walk inside the 100-year-old plus building that looks very much 21st century today, remember that you're walking to a piece of Americana and something that's very important not only to this community, but to the entire city and the nation. So thank you for coming today, and enjoy the new Cita Dennis Hubbell Library. Thank you.
Charles. Jackie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, Ms. Palmer. Thank you, Hubbell family. Thank you, Mayor Cedric, Deputy Mayor Cedric Grant, and Vince, our capital projects gentlemen. All of you. It was a team made in heaven to bring back the most priceless entity, icon we ever could for Algiers. When you think about and talk about how old it is, what I can say is I read my first book here at age 4 and still remember. Actually, my big sister, John.
15 years ago.
That's it, right. And I can tell you, Charles, when you said the living room of Algiers, that's exact. It was the gathering place. It has still been the gathering place, and it will again be the most phenomenal gathering place. When my husband and I returned home from the military in 1968 with our children, it was in disrepair. And then all of a sudden came home behind us was more military called Cita Dennis, as I knew her then. And I met her husband, Mr. Hubbell, George Hubbell. And they had been gone in the military, in the Navy. We were in the Air Force. And she led the band, and it was phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second time we're bringing back one of the most priceless things in this city because of what it means to this second oldest neighborhood in this city, where it has been supportive of everything that's best for the city of New Orleans. No name in all of Algiers could fit better on this icon than Cita Dennis Hubbell. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Kristen.
We've talked about the future and we've talked about the past of the library. I think I want to talk about the intersection of the library and how important it is because, you know, yes, it is in Algiers Point, but it's a public space and it's a community space. And the wonderful thing when we talk about rebuilding and revisioning the city in a smart, sustainable way is we have these wonderful bike racks to my left. We're building a bike path up on the levee 2 blocks from here that are going to connect all the neighborhoods up and down the river to this place, which is so important so that every neighborhood in Algiers can access this wonderful library that has computers so kids can do their homework, they can study. People that don't have access to technology can have access here. And that's really what this public place is about. And how wonderful that since it's been under reconstruction and open, we've also have elderly housing to my right, to your left, that is also just open. So now we also have an intergenerational library with our children, with our elderly, with the whole cross-section of the community. And so when we talk about the importance of public spaces, that's what this is. And then you add to that the importance of literacy, which we all as a community really know that that's what's going to bring us forward. This is a wonderful place and a wonderful day. I want to really thank the strong leadership of the mayor, of the council for this, and for the librarians as well. Y'all, there's some librarians here behind us that really need to be thanked. They've worked in trailers since the storm. They've worked in stables since the storm. And they're finally getting some beautiful spaces to work in. And they, you know, they've always done it without complaint, and they've always done it with absolute dedication of really trying to strive to increase literacy and access to everybody in our community. And so our librarians are really heroes of the day as well. So thank you all.
Thank you, Kristen. Cedric and Eddie.
Thank you. And what I want to talk about is the work and kind of the labor of love that my team had on working on this building. I mean, you've got restoration of an old building with all new stuff in it. So the air conditioning's been fixed, the roof's been done, the electricity will be up to code so you can use all the computers and all the 21st century equipment. And we've restored the wood trusses, we've taken out all the asbestos. So you have a new home that's old but brand new and ready for everybody to use. So thank you to my capital projects team, the contractor and architect that really went the extra mile to make this one work. So
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. It's indeed a pleasure for me to be here today. I want to thank my team who's here today because they work tirelessly and always do with the City of New Orleans and their staff and Cedric's staff to make these types of events come to fruition. I think more importantly, whenever FEMA and our funds can help to restore a piece of history and maintain the historical integrity, it's always the goal of FEMA to do that. I think we did a great job of working with the city, and the city doing a great job of working with the neighborhood to maintain that piece of historical integrity. So I'm indeed obliged to be here today, and every time we come to one of these, it's a mark of progress, and it's a mark of FEMA doing what it came here to do back in 2005, and that's to make the city of New Orleans back as strong and better than it was before Hurricane Katrina. So great. Thank you, and appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, I'm Skip Stanner, president of the Algiers Point Association. And 6 years ago, after we returned to New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, we decided to move back into Algiers Point because my wife's family grew up here. In fact, her father's uncle had a barbershop that was on the corner here before the library was here. And in no small part, this library played a big role in our decision to buy a house half a block away. So we were a little disappointed when it closed a year or so later, and we've been anticipating the reopening of this library for quite some time now. It seems too long, but now we're very excited to have the place open again. And as a community leader, I understand the need for centers in our community, especially after the dispersion of this city, after Hurricane Katrina. Centers and places where people congregate to call their neighborhood a community are so important. And we have resurrected this center for our community in no small part with great thanks to George Hubbell and his daughter Amy Hubbell, who ushered this project along tooth and nail for the last 5 years to make sure that this project was finished. And I want to thank Mayor Landrieu and our council people who have stayed on top of this project from the beginning to end, and our community also who kept their eye on the ball through the whole process. Thank you. Thank you, George.
Thank you very much. First, I should say that I agree with every word that's been said, except that when they apply, indicate it as me that did it. I want to be sure you realize how much work the library people themselves have done on this. When I first opened it, we had a wonderful librarian, Louise Lamott, unfortunately the late Louise Lamott, and she and Cita worked very hard to develop programs here. We had help with many people, and certainly one of the most important was Mel Deeper, who had a connection with many people across the river that stupid Hubbell didn't know, and he helped a lot. He must not be forgotten. Many others did. We were forming APA. For some reason, I got to be the founding president, but must have been age or something. I want to say that I cannot rename every one of you, but I appreciate that my family appreciates the effort of everyone, especially the library crew. Seal Patterson is one of the greatest that we've had. I want to have in the library a list of all the previous librarians that's and unfortunately Amy cannot be here. Let me read her statement. I wouldn't dare do it. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. I am on a business trip. I'm so excited about the library and thankful to the many, many people who helped make it happen. The library will redevelop the way it was for many years as the center of almost every type of activity, legal activity. Again, I want to thank you all for coming today. Thank you very much. I promise Cita and Amy not to make any jokes, so I'll
Stop it right there. Well, let's cut the ribbon.